5 seconds to go. Start. My dear countrymen, countless people sacrificed their lives for freedom. They dedicated their entire youth, spent their lives in prisons, and embraced the gallows not for personal gains, but for the honor of Mahabharati, for the freedom of crores of people, to break the chains of slavery, and with one emotion in their hearts, dignity. Friends, slavery made us impoverished, and it also rendered us dependent. Our reliance upon others kept increasing. We all know that after independence, feeding crores of people was a formidable challenge, and it was none other than the farmers of country who, by toiling hard, filled the granaries of the nation. They made the country self-reliant in food grain production. For a nation, the greatest measure of self-respect even today is its self-reliance. And my dear countrymen, the bedrock of a Viksit Bharat is also a self-reliant Bharat. The greater a nation's reliance on others, the more its freedom comes into question. Misfortune arises when dependency becomes a habit, when we do not even realize, when we abandon self reliance and become dependent on others. This habit is fraught with danger, and hence one must remain vigilant every moment to be self reliant. And my dear countrymen, self reliance is not confined merely to imports and exports or to rupees, pounds, and dollars. Its meaning is not so limited. Self reliance is linked to our capability, and when self reliance begins to diminish, capability too continually declines. Therefore, to preserve, maintain, and enhance our capability, it is imperative to be self reliant. Friends, we witnessed in Operation Sindoor the marvel of Made in India. The enemy had no inkling of what weapons and capabilities we possessed, what power was destroying them in the blink of an eye. Imagine if we were not self reliant, could we have executed Operation Sindoor with such swiftness? We would have been plagued by worries over who might supply us, whether or not we would get the required equipment, and so on. But because we held the strength of Made in India in our hands, in the hands of our armed forces, they carried out their valor without concern, without interruption, and without hesitation. The results we see today are the outcome of our consistent mission over the past 10 years towards self reliance in the field of defense. Friends, I wish to draw your attention to another subject. None can deny that the 21st century is a technology driven century. And when it is technology driven, a glance at history tells us that every nation which mastered technology, scaled the heights of development, reached the pinnacle, and attained new dimensions of economic power. When we speak of various dimensions of technology, I wish to draw your attention to semiconductors. I do not stand here at the ramparts of the Red Fort to criticize any person or government, nor do I wish to. But it is equally important for the youth of our country to know. In our country, files related to semiconductors started moving 50, 60 years ago. The idea of a semiconductor factory began then. My young friends will be shocked to know that today semiconductors have become a global force, but 50 to 60 years ago, the idea was stalled, delayed, and shelved. The very conception of semiconductors was aborted. We lost 50 to 60 years. Meanwhile, many countries mastered semiconductors and established their strength in the world. Friends, today we have freed ourselves from that burden and advanced the work on semiconductors in mission mode. Six different semiconductor units are taking shape on the ground, and we have already given the green signal to four new units. And to my fellow countrymen, especially the youth, and to those across the world who understand the strength of Bharat's technology, I say this: by the end of this very year, Made in India chip manufactured in Bharat by the people of Bharat will be available in the market. Let me give another example. In the energy sector, we all know that we are dependent on many countries for petrol, diesel, and gas. We are spending lakhs of crores of rupees to procure them. It is essential to make the country self reliant in energy. We took up this resolve, and in the last 11 years, solar energy has been a 30-fold increase. We are building new dams to expand hydropower so that we may obtain clean energy. With Mission Green Hydrogen, Bharat is today investing thousands of crores of rupees. Keeping in mind the future of energy, Bharat is also undertaking major initiatives in nuclear energy. In the field of nuclear energy, 10 new reactors are progressing rapidly. By 2047, when the nation will complete 100 years of independence, the year we have set as the target for achieving the goal of a Viksit Bharat, we are moving forward with the resolve to increase our nuclear energy capacity more than tenfold. My dear countrymen, reform is a continuous process. Reforms must be undertaken as per the demands of the times and prevailing circumstances. In the field of nuclear energy, we have introduced major reforms. We have now opened the doors of nuclear energy to the private sector as well. We want to combine our strengths. Stop.